Today I made the coolest thing in Cricut Design Space and it's absolutely for free. I'm going to show you how to make it, but first things first, what I want to tell you is that I have been a Cricut user since 2011, 2012. And when Cricut first came out with Cricut Access, I paid for it. And I was a monthly and yearly subscriber for the longest time until December of this past year. I quit paying for it. And so it's been really nice and enjoyable to relearn a software that I have always used, but I used the paid for version. It has been so much fun to learn the free version. Today I'm going to show you how we're going to use Cricut Design Space and make a free Easter egg. Doesn't this look really cute? It looks really cute, but that actually serves a function. It's not just an Easter egg. This right here also holds a gift card. This is made out of layers of cardstock that you can find in my cardstock warehouse. But look at this. Absolutely so cute. Serves a purpose because you can put in a gift card. Easter is coming up. And with Easter, you're gonna like give a gift in a gift basket or an Easter basket, something or another. Isn't this so cute? And it serves a purpose. And it's free within Cricut Design Space. A lot of times I hear a lot of new crafters are like, oh my gosh, we not only have to pay for the machine, but now we have to pay for the program to use the machine. And that is not true. I'm here today to show you that we can make really cool things without ever having to pay for anything additional with Cricut. I am so excited to show you how to make this because it's actually really easy, very beginner friendly. You're gonna have something by the end of this video that you are gonna be so proud of. Let's go. So this is what our final project is going to look like. While it does look a little complicated, I can tell you right now that we are going to get this finished product done real quick, okay? So let me just select everything and drag this over to the side. And then what we need to do is we need to come over here to this little button right here that says images. Now what you want to do is come up here into this search bar and we can just put in Easter egg. Because we are going to be using the free version of Cricut Access, what I want you to do is come over here to these two lines and we need to select free and then click out of that. Now this one right here is the one that I used earlier. So I am just going to click this plus sign. And then what I want you to do is come over here into the shapes and I want you to insert a free square. So we're going to stay up here in the free version and we are going to click this square. Now what I want you to do is come over here to this like little caret that's right here and just click on it and it'll shrink your box. Okay, the very first thing we need to do is we need to take this and we need to resize it to the size of a gift card. I actually had to do a little bit of research on the actual size of this. So a size of a gift card is 3.3 inches by 2.15. Now what I would suggest is to making it a little bit larger because we definitely don't want too small of a pouch for our gift card. So I'm gonna make mine 3.4 by 2.2 inches. So going back over into Cricut Design Space, what I want you to do is unlock this. The width, because it's going to be an up and down, the width, I want it to be that 2.2 inches. And for the height, I need it to be 3.4 inches and then press return. So essentially, while it doesn't look like this is the actual size of a gift card, we know by our dimensions that this right here is of a real gift card size. So what we need to do now is taking this, we need to make sure if we were to leave it this size, do you see how our faux gift card, this right here, is larger than our Easter egg? We need to make our Easter egg larger so we can fit the entire gift card. So I'm just going to make my Easter egg a little bit bigger, making sure that my card will fit inside my Easter egg. Now I'm just going to make it a little bit larger and this should be large enough. So once we have our Easter egg resized, what I want you to do now is take this and we are just going to make this a little bit larger than our Easter egg. And I am going to cut off the top. So just like this, how the top is cut off, I need to cut off the top. So taking my square, I'm going to just like this. Now let's zoom in real quick. We want to make the top not cut in like this because it's going to make for a really weird design. You also don't want it to cut off like this because, again, it's going to make for a really weird design. So what you want to do is take this bottom portion of this now rectangle, and we want to kind of make sure that everything that's going to get cut and sliced right here is all black. Now what you want to do is make sure your Easter egg is completely covered on the top with your rectangle. So you can see that I don't have any carryover of the top of my Easter egg, which is perfect. Now what you need to do is select both pieces and press slice. We're going to take this one and we're going to delete it. And then Cricut always gives you like a top layer of the same slice result. We're just going to click it and delete it. Now what I want you to do is select this right here. We're going to just put this over to the side, and let's change this over to a different color just so we can see what we're doing. Now what I want you to do is selecting both pieces, and we are going to copy and paste, which is right clicking and pressing copy and paste, or we have our keyboard shortcuts right here. So I'm going to drag this over to the side. Now for this copy and pasted layer, this is going to be the very back portion of your Easter egg gift card holder. So we need to make sure that we don't have like a whole lot of holes and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the bottom piece over here in the layers box. We're going to come down to contour, and we are going to press hide all contours and then click out of it. So now it's going to look like you don't have anything, and that's exactly what we want because it needs to hold our gift card. Going up here to the top, pressing contour and doing the same thing, hide all contours. Okay, so now what I want you to do is selecting both pieces. Let's change this over to the color that you want your backer to be. I'm going to use white, so I'm going to change it to white. Now what I'm going to do is drag this over to the side. Now keep this selected, and we are going to copy and paste again. So Command C, Command V. And we're going to drag this over here in the middle of our two different Easter eggs. Now for this one, we need to build some of those layers, those colorful layers that I had. So selecting the bigger portion of the Easter egg, I'm going to come down here to contour again. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select one of these layers. Like you would think on a regular Easter egg that these would be the stripes on an Easter egg. So I'm just going to do a couple different stripes. So I'm going to click on the first one first and then click out of it. Now for me, what I've decided is I want my top, because there's this little heart right here, I want my top to be the same color as this layer. So what I'm going to do is select the top, and we're going to press contour, and we are going to reveal that heart again. So now this right here and this right here is going to get cut out in this layer. Okay, when you have that done, what I want you to do now is change this layer over to a different color, because this is going to be a different layer of my cardstock Easter egg. So selecting both pieces, I'm going to come up here to the white, and I'm going to change this over to a different color. And then what I'm going to do is selecting this, I'm just going to drag it over and put it on top of my very back layer. Now what you want to do is, still having your now blue Easter egg layer selected, I want you to copy and paste that again. And we're going to drag this over here. Now, because I've already revealed the one and only piece right here in the top layer, or the top portion of my Easter egg, I don't actually have to do anything more, but you still want to keep them in your design, because although they may not look like they are serving a purpose, they will in the final assembly of this project. So we are not going to touch the top portion of this anymore. We are only going to work on the bigger, larger portion. We are going to select it and then press contour. And now what I want you to do is selecting the next line in our Easter egg. So we're going to do all of these circles. We're going to reveal them. You can see them changing back here. And then what we're going to do is just click out of that. Now what we need to do is change the color of this layer over to something different than what we already have. So I'm going to select that. We're going to come up here to the blue, and I'm going to change it over to a lighter blue. Then what I want you to do is taking this, and we're going to drag this over to the very right. And then you're going to copy and paste it again. And we're going to drag this over to the middle. Remember, we're not going to touch the top portion anymore. We're going to go into the larger portion and press contour again. Working on the next line of our Easter egg, we're going to reveal all of these rectangles, and then we're going to click out of that. Doing the same thing we've done before, we need to make it a different color than what we already have. So selecting both pieces, we're going to come up here to the light blue and let's change this over to a pink. Dragging this over to our other layer. Now what we need to do is copy and paste this again and dragging this over so we can see what we're doing. Remember, only working on the big portion. We are going to select the big portion and press contour again. And now we are going to reveal the last and final pieces of our Easter egg. Now, technically, you didn't have to do this step again because we already have it here, but I like to always keep like an original formatted image always on my screen just in case I mess up, then I don't have to go all the way back to the beginning. So it's okay that we have a duplicate. We're going to actually end up using this again, so maybe it was actually useful to do this. But going back over here, same thing as before, we are going to select this Easter egg. We're going to come over here into our pink and we are going to make this a different color because we already have it over here. Then what you want to do is just take this and we're going to drag this over here. Now this is what our final Easter egg is going to look like. However, we are missing one key important thing in this project, and that is going to be another backer piece that will house our gift card. So you could do one or two things. You could take this 2 layers right here, copy and pasting it, creating a whole nother backer. Or since we already have this here, all you really need to do is just press contour and then hide all contours, just like that. And now we have a completely duplicated backer for our gift card holder. Now what we need to do is change this over to a color that matches because obviously we don't have charcoal gray anywhere else. In my original Easter egg, I have it matching the very back of this. So that is what I'm going to do for this one too. So I'm going to select both of the pieces and I'm going to click on the charcoal and I'm going to click on the white. So now this is what our final project is going to look like, which looks awfully similar to what we have here. All right, so now what you need to do is make sure and save your work, and then you just want to press make. Now today I'm going to be using my Cricut Explorer Air 2, so you want to make sure and have that turned on and ready to go. What I want you to do before we actually start cutting anything is go and pull out all of the cardstock that we're going to be using for today's project. The reason for that is you're probably going to find in your scrap box that you have like scrap pieces of paper that will work for this project, just like I am going to be using a little piece of scrap white cardstock. And then you just want to like pull out all the rest of them. So for today's project, I'm going to be using my sky blue and powder blue cardstocks. Then I'm going to be using my pale rose and my light pink cardstock. All of these cardstocks that I'm going to be using for today's project are all found within my cardstock warehouse. Now that we have everything pulled out, what I want you to do is I want you to take your cardstock and stack them in the order of which we see them on the Cricut. So for me, white is my matte number 1. The second one is going to be my pale rose and then my light pink. And then 4 and 5 is going to be the powder blue and the sky blue. Then what I want you to do is taking your stack, I'm going to put it underneath my Cricut just like this. We're going to keep it nice and organized so we don't have any mess ups when we're in the cutting process. Now generally what I say is use 2 mats because it's more time efficient. I hate when things take forever to actually cut out. It's my least favorite part. But I'm only going to use 1 mat for today's project. So taking the 1 white cardstock that was on the top of my stack, matching it up with what's on my computer screen, we're going to put this onto our Cricut mat. And I always like to use a brayer, and this just helps hold the cardstock in place onto my Cricut mat. Now, if you are using a brand new Cricut mat, do not use this thing because you don't need it. My Cricut mats, you can tell, are like dirty and gross. I'm going to need it. So obviously don't use this every single time, but it is a good little tool to have. Now what I want you to do is insert this into the Cricut, and then what we're going to do is press continue on our computer. Now for me, I hook my machine up via the USB cord. I cannot stand Bluetooth machines. So I'm using the cord, and I am using my plain cardstock. So I'm going to be using the light cardstock setting that is on the Cricut Explorer Air 2s. Now I already said earlier that I can't stand the cutting process, so I like to do this super quick and easy. And so I always like to press the fast cut mode and then just press the blinking C button. Now, if you've never used a Cricut before, The rest of these steps is exactly the same, and it's like over and over and over again. We're gonna wait for this to cut, and then we're gonna eject it, and then we're gonna put in our next color, and we are gonna cut out, for us, it's gonna be 5 mats of different cardstock. We're gonna cut out all 5 mats at once, and then we are going to glue. Okay, when you're done cutting everything out, what you can do is just set your Cricut off to the side because we technically don't need that anymore. Okay, then what you want to do is just press down on your Cricut because, again, we don't need that anymore either. Okay, for today's project, I'm going to be using my most favorite Precision Craft glue. It's super tight glue. The reason why I love it so much is because it has this pin needle inside the lid, so I never have a clogged tip, but also I love the fact that the needle of this is very fine tip, which is very important for today's project. Okay, then what we want to do is taking all of our layers, and what you want to make sure and do is stack these in the order of which we're going to be gluing them. This is very important. So for me, the very back layer, we're going to set aside one full white layer. We have white, and then we have sky blue, then powder. Oh, here it is. I was missing that pink. I was like, oh my gosh, what happened to it? Found it. Okay, then we have pale rose, and then we have light pink. So this is the order of which we are needing to glue. So taking Precision Craft glue, all you want to do is take one. We'll work on the top. The one on the top doesn't need too much precision because there's only one little cutout, but we are going to make sure and line these up perfectly. What you don't want is for your glued layers to look funny when it's done and assembled. So you want to make sure and have this perfectly lined up. So we're going to just glue these in the order of which we have them stacked. That's why you want to make sure that everything is stacked accordingly, just so it keeps the gluing process go faster too, you know? Okay, this is what your top is going to look like. And then doing the same thing on the very bottom. We're going to take the top one, turn it over. Now this one you do have to be a little bit more precise with, which is why we want a Precision Craft tip, because you can go fast but still have a control about where your glue is going. And you do not need a whole lot of glue. If you're using the glue that I am using, this right here is a really strong bond, so you don't need a ton of glue. A lot of crafters, when they first start out, they think that they need a ton of glue, and I'm here to tell you that a little bit of glue goes a long way, especially if you're using good stuff, okay? So just taking this next one, we're gonna roll it over, pushing it onto our layers, and we're gonna make sure that this is lined up perfectly. The reason why you want it to line up perfectly is because if you don't, it'll look not cute at the very end. So rolling this over, and we're going to glue just like this, rolling it over and gluing. All right, now we have our finished Easter egg glued down. Now what you need to do is taking your white thing, okay? This is going to be your very back portion. What I want you to do, and this is why having Precision Craft glue is so important for today's project, because what I want you to do is I want you to take a bead of glue to the outside of this bottom portion right here. Do not put any glue at the very top. So we want to be pretty precise on where we put our glue, and we want to stay on the outside edge. Don't put a whole lot of glue anywhere else, because then you won't be able to put your gift card in that slot. And we're making a gift card holder, so we want to make sure that what we're making will actually hold what we're making. Okay, so when you have that done, you can see that I got a little bit messy right here. That is okay. I would rather it be like this for you though. It's still gonna work if you do a little bit of mess, but I would really prefer you to stay on the outside, just so that ensures that your gift card will fit in your gift card holder. But once you're done doing that, and this is the other reason why you don't want to use a whole lot of glue, is because we're going to push these together. And when you push your layers together, what happens to the glue is like, it was like this, right? Now, when you're pushing it together, it will start to spread. So using a ton of glue for your project will make that spreading larger. You don't want it to be larger, okay? You are going to let this dry entirely before sticking your gift card into the slot. So we're going to trust the process, making sure that it glues appropriately. Now for this one, you're going to only do the top around here. Do not put anything down at the bottom. So we're just going to go around the top, just like this. You can see that I only have a bead of glue right here. Do not put any glue down here. Doing the same thing, we are going to take our cute little top that we've already assembled and we are going to put it onto our glued white backer. Now again, don't want to use a whole lot of glue because you don't want to make that glue spread crazily. Now what you're going to do is you're going to trust the process and you're not going to try and stick the gift card into the pouch, because what happens is it won't glue appropriately and then you're going to have a pouch that kind of has holes in it in places because you didn't wait for the glue to dry. So we want to wait for the glue to dry. Okay, now that it's fully dry, I'm going to be able to show you that it works. I wanted to make sure and show you that our finished product does work. So here is the gift card. Here is the one that we glued together. All you need to do is just open up that small little back pouch or back layer. Just slide that into your holder, and then you want to keep out a little extra. The size that I made it, obviously you can tell it slides all the way in there, so you just want to make sure and leave a little bit of room. So then, making sure I have the right one on there, then you just want to slide this layer in, and there you go. Look at how cute that is. And then, look, love it. Isn't it so cute? Absolutely love it. And can you believe that we made this for free in Cricut Design Space? We also recently made a greeting card, a birthday card for free in Cricut Design Space. Like I said earlier, it's been so much fun relearning Cricut Design Space, only using the free version of it, because I've always paid for Cricut Access, and it just kind of broke my heart that everyone felt like you had to pay for Access in order to get really cool items. And today, just like that greeting card that we had made, I'm showing you that you absolutely do not have to pay for Cricut Access to make really cool items with your Cricut. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I'll see you on the next one.